Hi, Blessing.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
How
Good
are
to
you
see you.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? And
I'm
how
good
is
too.
Canada?
The weather is good. The weather is very good at this time, so it's
Oh, that's good.
a wonderful
So
time.
not too sunny, not too
Yeah,
cold, just normal, right?
yeah. It's not too cold. We're approaching winter, but not there yet. And the weather is
Okay.
cooler now, so it's the best time to go out.
Wow, that's good. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited about tonight. And you know why? Because I finally got you in.
Yeah, that's true.
I know this schedule, it's not easy. I know,
That's
I
actually true.
understand.
I was thinking about it because I asked to travel next week. I also have so many things to do. So I'm wondering, like, why do everything just come around a time where you have so many things to do, but then life is
Yeah.
always busy anyway.
So glad. So good to see you. So
So,
excited. I
yeah.
I'm waiting for Sister Esther to make me host
Okay.
because she's very busy at this moment.
Yeah.
She's not going to be able to join the call tonight.
Yeah.
We're having a church event and she's the project supervisor. So it's been a very hectic week for her.
Oh.
So I just sent her a message to make me host so that I can accept participants as they come in. But I guess people are already coming in. I have Mr. Joseph. Hi, good to see you.
Okay.
So, okay, she has responded. Okay, so it's not even 6 p.m. yet, but the
It's not.
anticipation is very high. And I've been receiving a lot of private messages, people
Really?
asking questions like, are we going to be able to go to Canada after the after the webinar? I'm like, please don't get your hopes so high yet. Just chill, calm
That's
down.
true.
This is a knowledge-based session, the knowledge-based
Mm-hmm.
webinar, right? So I kept explaining to them because on the form, I had people fill their expectations. I wanted to share it with you, but I couldn't access my laptop this evening. So I wanted you to just see people's expectations, but most of the expectations were knowledge-based. People want to be rightly informed. So, and
That's
just
very
goes a
good.
long, yeah, it just goes a long way to show you or to let you know that there's just so much bad information in the air. And
Mm-hmm.
when you just yes, we even say, okay, use Google to do your search, but
Yeah.
then they don't even know what exactly they are searching for or looking for.
Yeah, and also
So
Google can be manipulated as well. So that's
exactly,
something to be very
exactly.
careful of.
Scammers on Google,
Yeah.
writing blogs,
Mm-hmm.
writing articles that have no concrete source, and there
Yeah.
is no evidence to what they claim to have access to or to provide
Mm-hmm.
for you. So they tell you
Yeah.
things like, hey, I can get you a visa in 3 days, but there is no proof. They don't even have any evidence that they've done it for someone and it actually worked. And so people
Mm-hmm.
don't even seek for results anymore or feedbacks or proof.
Yeah.
They just go ahead, pick the information and run with it and say, okay, this one says he can get me visa in 3 days. I think I'll go with this person. And then they pay money to such agents, and that's how they are scammed. And that's just one out of so many other ways that I personally have even experienced such, which of
Mm-hmm.
course I'll share when we start the program, how,
Yeah.
how I was scammed when I wanted to go for my culinary program in South Africa. So it's not even just master's BSc, this one was just a professional course. And
Mm-hmm.
I almost paid the school fees and everything. It was my sister that had to call someone in South Africa and tell the person, please go to this address and look for this school for me. And when the person got there, it was somebody's room. It was not a school. it was somebody's room. And my sister had to call me, please don't send any money.
Oh my God.
That so-called school is not correct. It's a fake. That was my deliverance, because the person that spoke to me on the phone said she's the admissions consultant, and she spoke with so much so much. She was so convincing, and she was just giving me so many reasons why what I'm coming over to do, how the benefits and all. And me, I just want to hear the benefits. So she was giving me everything I needed to know. And I was just at the verge of sending in my school fees, in quotes.
Yeah.
And if they had not gone to a physical location, checking of location for me, I would have just sent in my school fees, and I will not hear from the person. The person won't reply my mails again. I won't be able to call her again, because she'll just block the line and go to her next victim.
Yeah.
So I think we should also talk about the fact that it's not a gender thing. So many people think that, okay, it's only men. I'm telling you, women also are it, because the person that almost scammed me was a woman. And she had so sweet, she talked so sweet. She was so polite to me. She was almost helping me through all the process. She almost helped me fill my form safe. And I was like, Madam, you can't fill my form for me. I'm the one that know what almost my mind. So she wanted to do everything for me. So I was having this second thought. Yes, I was having this second thought, but then I just trusted. I was like, wow, she's real. And thank God for my sister that had to come to my rescue. If not, I would have, and that, as at that time, that was 2014. As at that time, the money that I was going to send, a whole lot. It was a whole lot. So, and it was my lifetime savings, because it was something I wanted personally pursue. So I was sponsoring myself. So I was ready to empty my account to go do my culinary course. So that's just one out of so many people that have different experiences. And I'm sure we'll get some deliverance today from this knowledge that we'll be sharing.
I wanted to say that not everybody has a sister or an uncle or a brother that they can ask to go and verify this information. So I think that's one of the things we have to learn today. How do we verify these informations that you get? How do you verify if that school truly exists or not? You know, these are things we're going to be talking about today. Like when you are asked to pay a school fees, what should you think about? What should you do to protect yourself in just handing your money over to scammers and not real schools and stuff like that? And this is one of the things we seek to kind of address today. And I hope people are blessed by it.
Yes, and very much informed, because knowledge is power. And when you don't know something, you don't know. So I'm very sure that we get the necessary knowledge that we need to move. Even this knowledge can help us beyond just looking for schools. It can help in businesses, partnerships. So many people want to go into partnerships and they just fall into the hands of wrong people. Investment, and there's a whole lot we are going to be doing this season. So we're focusing on school now. We're going to be talking about how people would be careful about investment opportunities, because that is another major thing that Nigerians are currently facing. Partnership opportunities, because they are coming in their numbers, and they know you when you're so vulnerable, so they know how to get you. So, and their tactics are changing every day. So you need to be careful and not say, oh, because he didn't use this method on me, then it must be correct. their tactics and methods change constantly. So if they come in through you in one way, they will definitely come into you in another form until they're able to make that person their victim. So we have to be super careful.
That's true. And because there are so many different types, right? Like there are different people who handle this scam. So because you did not fall victim to one person doesn't mean the next one that comes, you might not fall victim to. So it's better to just know the underlying principles of what to watch out for and what to do so that you do not fall victim to it. And apart from study as well, there's a place of people who want to come to Canada to work as well. I know that a lot of people fall victim to scams because of work permits. You know, people guarantee they're going to get a work permit, or they send you and say you've gotten a job, or a company in Canada want to hire you. We want to talk about that as well. Even immigrating, PR, and whatever ways you want to move your family down to Canada, people have been scammed in that area as well, and that would be something good to also explore.
Thank you so much, Blessing. I'm used to calling you Blessing, even though that's your middle name, but I think Blessing sounds.
I go by it because people don't know how to pronounce the Nanfe well. Even here, people say Nanfi, Nanfe, Nanfa, whatever. So I go by Blessing. It's much easier. I don't have to keep correcting people and stuff.
So easy for us to pronounce, so we'll just do Blessing tonight. So thank you so much. I'm so glad that even our facilitator was the second person to come in. Is that not just awesome? That shows that we are very disciplined, and we don't joke with time. And I'm so glad we have about 9 participants already. We will start because we had promised everyone that we would not take so much time. After this session, we'll be having various sessions, various webinars. One of our coach, who is also in the US, Priscilla, is also going to come in after this session to share with us that some other time we will choose a date to share with us about scholarship opportunities. So it's a whole ball game. We want people to be rightly informed, because if you're not informed, then you're deformed and you can easily into this. So we are just going to start. We have Julius, we have Nomso, Joseph, we have Mide, Philip, Queensland, Coach Queensland, good to see you. Samuel and Coach Wale. Just kindly turn on your mics if you can. You don't need to video, but just turn on your mics and say hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello, Yvonne. Hello, Blessing.
Hi, Coach Queensland. Good evening.
Well,
hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening. So good to hear from everyone this evening. So good, so good. So this is a webinar for Nigerians. So we are all on the same time zone. So I'm safe to greet good evening to everyone. I'm so excited that we can all join in this evening. Unfortunately, our founder, that's Pastor Noel, could not be with us tonight. He has several meetings back to back, as well as our admin, Mrs. Dunbury. So please just bear with them. They have taken their excuses, and their excuses have been granted. So we will just proceed with this evening's webinar. It's being recorded. So after this webinar, we're going to receive a recording so that we can play back and just keep remembering these things that we are learning today. We don't want a case where, okay, after we've done a webinar like this, you still fall victim or fall prey to what we are trying to reduce or stop. So please, after the webinar, when the recordings are sent to you, please just to always play back and listen to these things. So we will start with, we'll be starting with Coach Wale. Coach Wale has about 5-10 minutes to give us a mentor moment, where we always have a mentor moment for all our webinars, where we share heart-to-heart talk from any of our mentors who who are available to take us through. So Coach Wale will be giving us 5 to 10 minutes mentor moment, after which we will proceed to our speaker for tonight. So Coach Wale, over to you, sir, if you are ready.
Good evening, all. Let me just try to. Sorry, I was on one particular assignment, but I just had to. Thank you very much, Mrs. Yvonne, coach, and our facilitators for tonight. We appreciate everybody. And I want to say a big welcome to everyone that's here. Can we all hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Okay, great. Please, can we mute ourselves? Somebody is talking on the net.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't have much to say tonight because we have virtually all information at hand. But I'll just share with us. We all have idea of what NWN is all about. NWN is not a paid network. We are here to impart the nation, impart life into people. And NWN stands on 3 pillars, which we coined to be LEARN, which is learning, accountability, and networking. But today, I just want us to briefly look at, because this one coined with what we want to do today, which is the first letter, learning. When we talk about the word learning, what does it really mean? A dictionary meaning says is the acquisition of knowledge or skills through study, experience, or being taught. This learning, it can be visual, it can be auditory, and one other one like that. But this evening, we are looking at the one which is visual. And one of the things learning does is illumination. It illuminates the heart. It makes you to have understanding of what is going around so that you will not fall prey of what could be negative. And that's exactly what we're considering tonight. So I congratulate every one of us that are present tonight, because we're going to learn, unlearn, because these are the things we do in NWN. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn. So I believe all of us are prepared tonight to get enough information so that when we get said, oh, I want to study abroad, I want to study in Canada, I want to relocate my family to Canada, people cannot just bobo us. People cannot just tell us, okay, bring so amount of money, I'll get a job for you. And at the end, such a person will run at loss. But today, we are prepared to get this particular information. So this is a key pillar in NWN, learning. Let's take it with ourselves. I will conclude with this, which is a word of an adage, which says, when you stop learning, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. So we are here today to learn, prepare to learn, and unlearn and relearn. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody once again. Let's put up our pen and paper, gather as much as information we can gather, and let us flow together. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Coach Wale. So brief and yet so powerful. Thank you so much. We've all heard the day you stop learning is the day you die. So learning is a continuous process. You can't say, oh, 30 years old, 40, or 50. I think I've learned enough in this life. I don't need to learn anymore. So it's a continuous process, like growth. You keep growing. Once you stop growing, then you die. So we have to keep learning, and not just learn, like you said, learn, unlearn. There's many things that we in the past that and that's the process of unlearning. Learn some things so that you can. Tonight, you may have heard about studying abroad, its opportunities and all, but you might not be aware of the scams and the pitfalls. And that's why we are having this session, so that we can enlighten you, so that you can make the best use of the knowledge that you will be receiving here today and never fall victim of these things. As they say, knowledge is the new gold. So I think we are privileged to be accessing gold tonight. We all know, or you may not know, but her profile has been sent to the page. Our speaker tonight is Coach Namfe Blessing, and she will be talking to us about scams and pitfalls of studying abroad. So if it has been your dream to study abroad, either for your bachelor's degree or your master's or your doctorate, or even for professional courses, then you need to really listen up tonight so that you can be rightly informed. So I'll hand over the platform now to Coach Blessing, who will then take us through the first session of what she has for us tonight. Coach, over to you.
Thank you so much, Coach Yvonne. Thank you, everyone, for joining in today. Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to have you guys here. I really want to appreciate the founder of NWN for giving me this opportunity to be able to share, some knowledge that I've gathered over the years and knowledge that I've gathered from my experience of coming to Canada to study and having graduated, to be able to help as many people as possible who would want to come to Canada or go to other countries of the world to study. I'm so privileged to be a part of the NWN. I have been, in so many different sessions, and I've learned tremendous things from them, and I've been blessed by the different informations I have gotten from this particular platform. So I'm so grateful. I also want to really appreciate all the coaches of NWN who are present today. We are all, specialists in our own different field, and to have you guys tune in today, even though we might not be talking about things that you're an expert at, I'm so happy that you just joined us as well. To your presence is really something that I appreciate and I'm grateful for. I also want to be I want to appreciate every participant. Okay, it doesn't matter where you're participating from, be it Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, wherever it is, thank you so much. So many of you saw the post about today's meeting on different channels, maybe on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or I don't know, or on the NWN website, and you found your way to join us today. I'm so grateful. I know it's evening there, so I should be saying night, but pardon me if I make mistakes and say afternoon, because it's afternoon here. It's just past 12. So I'm so grateful. Anyway, today I'm going to be sharing with us easy steps to studying abroad, easy steps to applying to international universities. As well, I'm going to be considering the different scams, okay? Different admission scams that are out there, scholarship scams that are out there. And I want to just help us, know this type of scams, be aware that the scams are available, and to also teach us or share with us what you can do to safeguard yourself from these scams, what you can do to prevent yourself from falling into the scams, okay? Naturally, when you ask people that I have two informations to pass to you, one is good, one is bad, which one do you want to hear first? I have seen oftentimes a lot of people will say, give me the bad one first and then tell me the good one later, but that's not how I'm going to work today. I'm going to start with the good one first, and then we'll go to the bad ones, okay? The information itself, it's not bad. I'm just saying, like, it's something that I'm going to just be discussing, the ugly aspect of applying abroad and how the water can get muddy when scam is involved. So like I said, I'm starting from the good part. So I'm going to be starting from the simple and easy steps to studying and applying abroad. I have my notes here because I don't want to ramble on, okay? And I don't want to juggle things. I want to be as clear, as concise as possible. And I want to make sure that my points run well and flow well into each other so that you can have an easier time, taking in this information and processing it, okay, in your mind as well. So yes, I'm starting from simple and easy steps to applying abroad. So you have interest in studying in a university abroad, you have interest in just traveling the world, you have interest in leaving the shore of your own country and going to other country to explore the life there, explore the technology there, the information, the schools, the culinary, and the whole world as well. You want to meet people from diverse backgrounds, and that can be very, very interesting. And going abroad to study gives you this opportunity to enjoy this, give you the opportunity to really take your dream by the hand and just walk with it. So what do you do then? How do you then go abroad? How do you realize this particular dream of yours? There are many steps to it. And let me tell you guys, you can do this on your phone as well, especially when it comes to applying to universities abroad. You can do it on your phone. So you don't need a complicated system. It's not compulsory for you to have a computer. It's not compulsory for you to go to a media house, or what do they call it, a computer center or stuff like that. You can do it on your phone. So all these informations are things that you can do on your phone, and it's going to afford you the opportunity to study abroad. So where do you start from? You start by deciding your course of choice. Okay, you have to start by choosing a course of study. What do you want to study abroad? Yes, you want to go in school, but what course do you want to study? What is your aim? What do you like to study? What do you want to learn about? You have to decide what course it is, okay? So usually when people want to study abroad, they start by looking for agents. That's not a good place to start. The first place to start from is deciding on a course, okay? Deciding on a field of study. What do you want to study, okay? And there are many factors that can affect why you're choosing a course. There are many factors that can determine why you want to go into a field. And I want to say that there is no right or wrong reason for choosing a course. You just have to make sure that you can do well in that particular course. As long as you can do well in it, the reason why you chose that course is really not important. Some people choose a course because of the demand for professionals in that field, okay? So some people might choose computer science because there's a high demand for computer science professionals in workplaces. Like there's so many jobs available for people who finish in this particular course. Some people might choose medicine because like Canada is really in need of doctors and in need of nurses, okay? Because of COVID, I feel like that need is so much apparent now because so many nurses are resigning from their jobs. So many doctors are resigning. Not too long, there was also a head of a hospital board that also resigned. I think because of the busy schedule, because of there's so much pressure that is on them. So many of them resign, and we know Nigerians as people who can handle pressure well, people who can do well in pressure. So there's a demand for that. So you might choose a course because of that particular demand. Some people choose a course because of the amount it's going to cost them to study in that field, okay? Like let's take engineering for an example. Somebody might decide to choose to study a different part of engineering because it's cheaper compared to studying, let's say, mechanical or electrical engineering or stuff like that. So sometimes the expenses that comes along with a particular field of study might make people either run away from it or go for it, okay? So it doesn't matter why you're choosing a course, just make sure that it's a course that you're going to do well. Some people might choose a course because of the fame, okay, because of the recognition that we get if they study that particular course. So in Nigeria, you are much more respected and honored if you do something like medicine or lawyer. And so some people choose that course, not necessarily because they really love it, but because they want to have that recognition, okay? As long as you're going to do well in that field, you can go ahead and do it. Okay, so like I said, the first thing is decide your course of choice. Okay, choose a field that you're interested in. The second thing is to check out the designated learning institution of any country. Okay, how do you do that? Every country has a website. If you don't know, every country, even Nigeria has a website. Okay, there's a Nigerian High Commission website, the Nigerian what's it called, immigration website. There's Nigerian website on universities, like JAM has a website. If you want to study in Nigeria, where do you go to? You go to JAM, okay, or UTME now, whichever one it is. You go there. It's the same thing with other countries as well. Every country has a website that you can access to get information on whatever you intend to do, and study is one of them. In Canada, there's on the Canadian website, which is, if you're interested, I can leave the link later on. It's www.canada.ca. Now, if you go on that website, there's a particular part or portion of it that talks about DLI, okay, which stands for Designated Learning Institution. This gives you all the universities that are legal and are approved by the government in that country, especially in Canada. The DLI gives you all the available universities in Canada, all the approved universities in Canada. So if you choose a university that is not one of the DLI, you'll be putting yourself in trouble, okay? You'll be putting yourself in so much trouble. Now, if you choose a course and then you choose a university, when you go on a website like this, it shows you the requirement for that school. It also shows you the future, like what will be your future if you study this course, if you study this university, in this university. That's some university you study at that once you're done, you're expected to leave the country. You are not qualified to get a work permit when you study in that university. There's some courses you study that you will not be qualified to get a work permit. You will not be qualified to get a postgraduate work permit, okay? Whereby there are schools and courses that you can study that you'll be qualified. Now, this website gives you all this information. Please do well to check out a country's approved learning, okay, designated learning institutions. You will save yourself a whole lot of trouble. What else do you need to do? Finally, after going on this website and looking at all the institutions available that are approved by the government, please choose an institution. Choose an institution. Choose a school that you're interested in. Just as the reasons why you decide on a course to study varies, there are also different factors that can determine why you're choosing a university. Some people choose a university because it's cheaper to study there as an international student. Of course, it's not news that international students pay more than the local student, right? So some people choose a university because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to study here, right? Some people choose a university because once they're done, the vicinity or the province or the location where the university is located at, it's easier to find jobs. It means that the numbers of residents in that particular location are not many, so there is not so much competition for jobs later on when you graduate, okay? Some people choose a university because of the weather condition. Canada has different weather condition, okay? And every province experiences weather conditions in degrees that are quite different from one another. If you're in Manitoba, you know that you have longer months of winter, and the winter is usually brutal. If you go to Saskatchewan, you know that winter is even way more brutal compared to Manitoba. If you go to Nova Scotia, that's a whole different ballgame. But if you want some weather, yes, it's gonna be cold, but not too much. I want somewhere that it's cold, but I don't want it to be too much. Then you want to look at provinces like Ontario. You want to look at Vancouver. Okay, you want to look at other like Calgary. Okay, you want to look at British Columbia. These are areas you want to explore rather than choosing a much colder side. Okay, so there are many things. Some people can choose a university based on how they have scholarship available for international students. If you choose a private university, there's a high chance, okay, that you will not get a scholarship private university, there's a huge chance of you not getting, or should I say there's a low chance of you getting a scholarship. So you might choose a university because, oh, there are a lot of scholarship available for international students. There are a lot of scholarship available for me if I've studied this course in this particular university. So please make a choice, choose a particular university. After you've chosen a university, what next do you need to do? You need to check the requirement of the department. Okay, so you've chosen a university, you have a course in mind, there's a department where that course is being offered. So please go to the department website and check the requirement of that department. Every department has different requirements. Schools have different requirements, but the place you want to pay more concentration to or at is the department you're interested in. Okay, they have the qualifications and their qualifications varies. Now this is where a lot of Nigerian students mess up. You see someone who want to study a particular course has not gone to the department where they intend to study at to check the requirement, and then they call people, oh, do you know someone in Canada? Do you know someone in this particular university? I want to ask them, what are the requirements for me to study here? It's on the website. Whatever information I might be giving you that is not directly from the website can be outdated, okay? Recently, I was helping someone to check the website of the Department of Law because the person showed interest in studying there. Okay, I checked and I was looking for the requirement of that department. And lo and behold, on the website, they said they were updating their requirements. So imagine I did not check. And I tell the person the information I had, been privileged to know, let's say a few months ago, a few years ago, and I pass this information to that person, the person goes ahead and apply, and they don't end up getting that information. They end up getting that admission. Who will you blame? Is it going to be me or the student in question? Okay, so please do yourself a whole lot of favor by going to the department and check the requirements. Also, when it comes to checking the requirements of a particular department, there's also the situation where the grading system between two countries are different. The way Nigerian's grade system works is different from the way Canadian grade system works. So let's say you want to study at the Department of Economics, and the requirement is that you have a 3.5 GPA, right, for your last 2 semesters or your entire year or your entire period of learning for your first degree or whatever. They needed to have a GPA of 3.5. And then you check your result and like, oh, I have 3.5. I'm qualified to apply. It doesn't work that way. It could be that they want you to convert your result, your Nigerian result, to the Canadian grade system, okay? Then convert all the results you have, check the cumulative, the cumulative final cumulative result, and see if you still have a 3.5. If you do have a 3.5, then you can go ahead to apply. I finished with a grade that was above 4.0, right? I had more than 4.0 at the time I finished my first degree. When I was applying to the Department of Philosophy, they wanted me to have 3.5, okay? But when I converted my results from Nigeria to the Canadian grade system, my result did not remain at 4.0, okay? It went lower than that, but fortunately, it was still above the required, GPA that they need. So this is really important for you to check out, okay? If you're a student who has just finished high school and you want to go ahead to study at a university, they may ask you specifically that we want WAEC results, okay? Like when you go on this website, they tell you to choose the country you're from, and they tell you their requirement based on the country you're from. Do you know, if you're also a postgraduate student, if you choose, let's say you go on a Canadian university website and say, okay, I'm a student from Nigeria, I want to study, this course. They ask you to put the school you graduated from in Nigeria, then they generate the requirement for you depending on that university. These are very important information that you need to know before going ahead to apply. I've seen people who think they have, the right results to apply, whereby they're not even qualified for admission. So now you waste money. You pay for application fee to apply for university, and you're just wasting all the money you have because you're not even qualified. Whereby there are universities who don't need you to have 3.5. There are some universities who need you to have just 3.0. Please make your research. Check out the requirement of the department. What is the next step is prepare all your documents. Once you've checked the requirement, of course, you need to find out all the documents that you need to apply to that school. Now prepare those documents. It can be your transcript, it can be your WAEC results. Sometimes they ask you to submit your resume. Sometimes if you've worked after high school, after your first degree, they ask you to submit your work experience. Okay, then they ask you to submit references as well. Okay, and I'm not exhausting all the requirements. Okay, I'm just telling you some of the requirements I think some schools will require of you. Okay, they need you to submit references. See, when I was choosing a school, I did not, there were so many schools available that I could choose from. There was a school I had to let go because they were asking for 5 references. And I was like, I've been out of school for like 2-3 years. How do I go and start looking for lecturers and looking for 5 lecturers who are willing, you know, to fill out a reference form for me? So I was like, I want a school that would require less than that. Okay. And so I had to choose a school that was requesting for 2 references. It depends. If you have, you know, if you have people that will stand as references as referees for you, and there are 5 in numbers, great. But not everybody have that. So that kind of help you know what course should I study, what school should I study, you know. And sometimes some school require that you write a letter of intent. They ask you, explain to us why you want to study at our department. Explain to us why you want this particular school. Whereby there are some schools who don't ask you that. There are some departments that don't ask you to write a letter of intent. There are some schools who ask you to write a letter explaining why you need a scholarship. And there are other schools that say if you have this particular grade, you automatically qualify for scholarship. So please make sure that you are aware of this fact and that you prepare all the documents. Don't go and submit your application when one thing is missing. You might think it's not a big deal. It is a big deal, okay? They will send you a letter later. Sometimes if they are nice, they will send you a message and say, look, this is not complete, fill it up. Okay, there was a time I submitted the name of one of my professors as one of my referees, and she did not go ahead to fill the forms they sent to her, and they kept sending this form to her, and she wasn't filling it. Other schools will go ahead and just not consider you, but the school sent me a message that your referee, okay, this person who is to stand as one of your references, isn't filling out forms. What do you want to do? I had to go back to the university and look for someone else to do that. So please make sure that you have everything. Don't leave a single document out. Make sure that you have all those documents available. So what else do you do after that? Go ahead and fill the application form and submit. Of course, online you'll see the application form, okay? Go ahead and fill it up, okay? They will ask you for your names, your backgrounds, your family, your address, you know, your demographics. I mean, all this are part of your demographics. They're going to ask for all that. And then you pay the non-refundable fee and you submit. All this is at the process of submission. Go ahead and submit your application. After you've submitted your application, what should you do? You don't have to fold your hands and wait. The last thing you can do is try to establish correspondence with the department that you have applied to. Okay, try to establish correspondence. You might be curious about many things about that school. You can ask them, oh, where do your international students stay? What is the accommodation stuff? How does it work? If I was to get this admission, what will happen at the airport if I land? Does the school have representative that will pick me up at the airport, or do I have to do that by myself? Or you can ask them your what's it called? Your admission process, your admission selection process. What is the most important thing? Like, how do I know? You might think these are baseless questions, they are stupid questions, but let me tell you, the workers in this department are under mandate to give you answers. They're under mandate to respond to your email. A lot of them are waiting to hear from you, okay? They're waiting. You could go ahead and apply and say, oh, I applied for this. I see that you guys did not ask me to write a letter of intent about scholarship or stuff like that. How does it work? And they can tell you, oh, this is how it works in this department. This is how okay, so please try to maintain correspondence between this particular university. Sometimes they can allow for a call. Sometimes they allow for, what's it called, emailing. try to maintain correspondence with them so you know where you're talking to someone. Sometimes they can even refer you to different people. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be the administrator that you call or text or you send emails to. There are what? There are informations about the lecturers or the professors in that particular school on this department website. You can send a message to them. Say, oh, I'm interested in this particular field. What do you think about it? Or I want to do my postgraduate and I think in the future I'd like to branch into this. What do you think about it? Okay. They will definitely answer you. They're much more than happy to answer all your questions. After you've done all this, what else? Wait. Wait. After you've done all this, there's nothing more you can do. The next thing to do is just wait. This is not the time that you need to call your auntie who is in UK. This is not the time that you need to call your auntie, your brother, your uncle, your friend who is studying at a university. No. This is not the time to look for, do you know anybody in the department that can help me somehow get that admission? No, most of the time, the committee that handle admission and stuff are usually anonymous. So most times, if people don't know them, you don't know who is involved in it, okay? Sometimes, most of the people even involved in these things are actually students, not the professors. They are actually students who are the ones speaking out, who gets to be in their university, who gets to be in their department. So most of the time you won't know who is involved in this. So nobody can help you. Just wait, okay? These are the easy steps to applying to universities abroad. Simple, easy, you can do it on your phone, on your device. Okay, I know people might say, oh, what if I choose a university and it happens to be fake? No, that's what I already said, that every country has a website, and on that on their website, they do talk about all the ways you can come into the country, in which one of them is studying. And on that study page, they have designated learning institutions that you can be sure are approved and are legal by the government. Okay, and you don't have to go on Google and type in a university directly, because scammers have a way of manipulating the Google search engine to put in a university that looks exactly like the one you're interested in with a web page, and you end up actually applying to the wrong one. That's why you should go to the government website. They have the addresses. They have the website of these universities on the government page. Okay, so when you go in through that page, you know without a doubt that this cannot be fake. This cannot be something sponsored by a scammer. Okay, please try to put all this into practice if you intend to study here. Okay, let's move on from, applying to schools. If you then get the admission, what do you do? Because just getting the admission is just the starting point. In fact, getting admission to Canadian universities is not as hard as people think. It's very easy, especially if you have all the requirements. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed. I'm saying it's easy. It's not as complex as people make it. It's simple, it's easy, it's not hard. Anyway, if you do get the admission, what do you do? The next thing you want to do is to apply for visa, is to apply for study permit. There's a difference between visa and study permit. Visa is what you're given, okay, in your home country when you do have all the requirements that meet, that meets the particular thing you're applying for, right? They give you visa. You can be in Nigeria and you get your visa. In fact, you have to be in Nigeria to get your visa. Of course, you can study, you can apply from other countries if you're there and you get your visa to study here. But you will not be given a study permit while you are in Nigeria. You have to land here first. You have to land at the international airport here, and then they give you a document. It's usually like a pamphlet, a paper or whatever, okay, that gives you what's it called? The study permit. You do not get your study permit when you are in Nigeria. You get it when you are here. But your visa, you get it in Nigeria. So yes, you have to go ahead to apply for your visa application. And how do you go about applying for your visa application? You go to the immigration website. go to the immigration website. Don't go to other people talking about that immigration website. Don't go to Naira Land to click on a link that says it will lead you to the immigration website. Don't go to Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, where someone puts a link and says this is the immigration website for US, for UK, for Canada, for Australia. No, go to the immigration website directly, okay? Go to the direct one. And of course, there are many ways to be sure that the website you're picking or you're clicking on is the right one. There are many ways. Check online. I think they said you have to make sure that they have a padlock, okay, on the screen where you put the www dots and stuff. There has to be a padlock. There has to be a http:// and then the website. Okay, there are many ways to be sure that the website you're clicking is the original, it's authentic, it's not fake, it's not by a scammer. And also, when you go on the website, when you begin to see that there's errors and spellings and stuff like that, most time it's not the right website that you're on. So please watch out for that. Check the requirement for the study permit. Check the requirement for the study permit. There are different requirements that the government expects you to have if you're applying to study with them. Please make sure you check the requirements and make sure you are eligible. On the Canadian website, there's something they have called the eligibility check. Okay, this is where you're doing nothing. Just go there, put in your name, put in what you want to study, put in if you have gotten admission or not, and it tells you if you're qualified to apply for a study permit or a student visa or not. Please make sure you do that. Also, get your document. The document you use to study to apply for your admission is different from the document you're going to need when you want to apply for your study permit or your work visa. They are different. So please make sure that you have all these documents. All right, then go ahead and submit your application and daily check your email. The government will, the immigration office or whatever will be sending you messages on your email in case you did not submit something, or if they want you to do something, if they want you to go and do medical tests, if they want you to go and do police check and stuff like that, they would communicate with you. If they want you to come over to their office, to do thumb printing and stuff, they will communicate with you via email. So constantly check email. And the last thing I'm going to say before I hand over to our coach Yvonne is that you can also consult an agent. I know I haven't talked about an agent all day, but you can also consult the services of an agent. It's not a bad thing. It's just knowing. The first thing is to know the process yourself before you meet an agent. Okay, try your best to know the process. How do you know if an agent is fake or real if you don't know the process? You need to know the process first before you can then say, oh, what this agent is saying really correspond with what I have actually known, with what I have actually checked, with what I've actually verified. And I think he is someone that I think is credible, and I can, ask him, I can consult him on my applications and stuff. So yes, you can consult an agent if it gets to a time where you feel that you're not getting it, or you feel that you need help, or you need someone to explain certain things and stuff like that. You need someone to help you with arranging your document and stuff like that. You can consult an agent, but first you need to know the process yourself. And with that, I would say that when it comes to the idea of an agent, I remember when I wanted to apply for my study visa, I think I became scared at some point. I applied for my admission myself and I got it. But when it was time to apply for my study visa or my student visa and stuff, I became scared for whatsoever reason. And I consulted a particular agent, and she told me, oh, it's so hard for Nigerians to get visas and stuff. I think if we travel to Ghana, you will apply from Ghana and it will be easier for you to get the admission and stuff. And I was like, okay, thank you. I went home and I made the research. If I was to apply to study, if I was to apply for a student visa in Ghana, in Niger, in Benin, and stuff like that, in Togo, will it be easier for me to get the visa or not? And online, they said, if you like, go and apply from US, apply from the moon, apply from the different galaxies in the world. As long as your passport is Nigerian, you'll be treated exactly as any Nigerian anywhere in the world. If it takes Nigerians 5 weeks to hear from the immigration office, it will take you who is applying to Canada from US the same 5 weeks to hear from the immigration office. And that kind of saved me a lot of money. It saved me my flight ticket. It saved me accommodation fee. It saved me so many things, so many stress. So please make sure that you know all these processes yourself before going ahead to consult an agent. After we come back for the second section, we'll be talking about the different scams that are available and how to protect yourself from these scams and pitfall. Thank you so much. I'm handing over to Coach Yvonne.
Oh, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much light here. I hope we've all been having a wonderful time. For one, I have learned a lot. I have taken down so many nuggets that I would even have to share with so many young people around me. As you know, in Nigeria, everybody wants to what? Japa. So it's very important that we japa the right way and not go and fall into the hands of wrong people. There was something very, very important that Blessing mentioned while she was speaking, and that's the part where you have to check the country's website. I remember something very similar happened to me in 2016. I wanted to go to a British school, and I saw the school on the internet, and I started applying. And someone told me, have you checked this school, if it is valid, if the school is real, on the school website? The UK has their education site where every legal school is on that website. And I was like, this school is on Google now. Why will it not be real? Like, it's on the internet, so why should it not be real? And to my greatest surprise, when I went to the website the person gave to me and just typed the name of the school, it refused to appear. I kept refreshing my browser that no, something is wrong with this browser. I kept refreshing my browser, but still the school did not pop up. And that's when I knew that. So then I called the number, and I asked, maybe they mistakenly did not start the school on the website. So I wanted to hear. And the UK officer told me, whatever, we update our website regularly. So whatever you see there, or the number of schools you see there are the legal schools that are available. So I used to think that, oh, it's only in Nigeria that there are fake universities. I didn't know that overseas there are so many fake universities. And that's the reason why we are having this session today. It's very important that we really go through all these and just try your best to do these things on your own. When she was speaking again, I was like, hey, so we're going to do all these things by ourselves. Hey, agent, oh, where's my agent? But then she concluded by saying, having an agent is not bad. But first, you need to have your own personal information about what you are planning to do. Because if they know that you don't know anything, they will scam you. They will take your money, your hard-earned money, your sweat. Maybe your parents are even the ones sponsoring you. They will take your money and you will not hear from them or see them again. Even the ones that you say, oh, I know their offices. When you get to their office the next day after they've scammed you, you just find empty tables and chairs. So please, it's not enough to say, oh, is she saying we should do everything by ourselves? This thing, me, I cannot do everything myself. Oh. She's trying to let us know that these are the basic information that you need to know. And it's that simple. Once you have this information, the last thing you should be looking for is an agent. Agent should not be the first thing you are looking for. When you don't even know the school you are applying to, you don't know their website, you don't know the course you are going to read, then the agent will be the one telling you, oh, read this course, go to this country, go to this place. It shouldn't be that way. So I really picked a very solid point from there. Your agent should not be your first resort. Your first resort should be your own personal research. Do your research first by yourself. It doesn't take, she said it at the beginning, all you need is a phone and your internet. You don't even need to go to cyber cafe. You don't need to have a laptop. As long as you have an Android phone and you are on this call today, it means that you have an internet-based phone that you can use to do your own personal research. So do your own personal research and let having an agent be your last resort, so that when you are discussing with the agent and you can feel that this agent is trying to play a fast one on me, then you know you either have to switch or you try another method. So it's been very enlightening, and I'm so grateful for this session. So what we're going to do is we're going to have everyone put down their questions. Yes, so much insight, so much insight. We are going to have everyone start putting down your questions from this first session. We are entering part 2, and part 2 is going to be eye-opening. You will see so many ways that you can be scammed in broad daylight. This one is not they came to steal your money in the night. No, in broad daylight, in the flesh. So you have to please start putting your questions from this part 1 that we've just had, because once we enter part 2 and we are concluding, we'll take all questions together. Remember, I said we are leaving here maximum 7:30 on the dot. It's a 1 hour 30-minute session. So please start writing your questions. Just drop your question in the, don't distract the crowd, please. So just send it privately to me and not to everyone. So when you're sending it on the chat box, don't pick everyone, just send it privately to me. My name here is Yvonne. So just send it privately to me and I will start collating those questions for blessing. So please start doing that right away. And while we'll enter and move into the second session. The second session is going to be brief, just 15-20 minutes, then we'll take questions. So let's have 5 minutes to do that while we give blessing some time to rest a bit. So please start dropping your questions, and by 7 p.m. we will have the second session begin. Thank you, Kingsley. I see your question. Let's keep dropping them. Let's keep dropping them while we give blessing some time to rest. 5 minutes to drop in our questions. We begin part 2 by 7 p.m. on the dot. Thank you, everyone. Keep dropping in your questions. I can see them. Keep dropping them in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you should have questions from this first session, because I'm sure there was so much insight, so much knowledge sharing moments. Yeah, keep dropping your questions, and remember by 7 p.m. on the dot, we are meeting again for part 2. Okay, people, it's time. It's 7 p.m. Thank you. Those who have sent their questions so far, thank you. I'm sending them into Coach Blessing, one after the other. Thank you for your questions. Please also know that you might not be, or you might not have plans to travel or to study outside the country, but you can have this information for your younger ones who might want to travel in future, because you never can tell when these things will come handy. So don't just say, oh, no, I'm not traveling, Jare, I'm here to stay. No worries, but you need this information also if you have younger ones or youths who you coach and all, you can help them, share this information with them also. So over to, Coach Blessing is here. Over to Coach Blessing. She'll take us through the next 15 minutes and we'll have questions. We'll answer questions for 10 minutes and in 5 minutes, we'll call it a wrap. So we're good to go. Thank you, Blessing. Over to you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for still staying. The fact that you remained behind means that you're somehow getting some good information and good knowledge from this session. Thank you all for staying back. So at this time, I want to talk about scams that relates to applying and wanting to study abroad. I don't know, I feel like there's so many people interested in studying abroad, and scammers and, you know, what we call it, scammers and illegitimate agents see this as a very good way to make money. And guys, scam is so complex and ever evolving to the point that even if you know a credible agent and you don't have knowledge of what you want to do, the agent can lead you astray or can do whatever it is they want to do to get money from you. Okay? I've seen a situation where an agent knows that a student is applying to want to study at a particular university, and he knows that that student does not have a result that qualifies he or she to apply there, okay, or he or she to get that particular admission. Rather than point blank tell that student, you do not qualify for this, you know what, just go rest or go do something else or go do this to increase your chances of getting this admission, most of these agents will not say it, even though they know. So this is not an agent who doesn't know what he's doing. The agent knows that you are not qualified for this, but they will not tell you. You know why? Because if they're going to help you apply to these schools, they're going to get some certain percentage of the whole application money from you, right? Some agents charge as high as 200,000, 300,000. I've seen agents who charge 450, 500, a million to help a student apply to schools abroad and handle their visa application. The agent knows that if you have gotten the admission, you didn't get it in the right course, or you did, like for someone who had a first degree in, let's say, a first degree in English and wants to go abroad for their masters and want to study engineering or want to study, let's say, fine arts. The agent knows that even if the school, for whatever reason, gave you the admission, visa is going to deny you because you cannot prove why you studied this as your first degree, and now you think you have the foundation to help you study this particular different course in your master's. They will most likely deny you the visa on the ground that they don't know the purpose, that you don't have a purpose for coming. The agents are aware of this. But rather than tell you so that you don't waste your time applying, or tell you to go back and reapply to a different schools and choose something within what you did in your first degree, they won't tell you. They'll tell you, oh, no problem. Oh, we can do it. Oh, we can do it. Oh, we just have to write this letter. We just have to explain somehow. They know you will fail and they will charge you money. And you come back and you're denied visa. And instead of them telling you, okay, you know what, now that you've been denied, maybe you should just put it off. They'll say, no. you know what? If we just, let's look for an immigration lawyer, you know, the one that is in Canada. Or it's so funny. It's ridiculous what these people do if they want your money. That's why, just like Coach Yvonne emphasized what I said earlier, that you need to know the process yourself, so that if an agent is telling you something that doesn't work, that's something that contradicts what you already know, you can quickly know that even if this agent is credible, he's doing rubbish. Look, there's some agents who, if they tell you to do this and you question it, they immediately take a step back and try to give you the right information. That's why you need to know. Anyway, let's go ahead with the types of scam available. The reasons why I said what I said before I started with this scam thing is because, like I said, scam is evolving every day. So if I give you the certain ones that are available now, in 2 days, they would have brought a new one, okay? In 3 days, in a week, in 2 months, in 1 year, new ones are completely available. That is the whole way, the process, the ball game is different, okay? But I'll still go ahead and tell you some of the ones that are available. The admission scams, okay? Have you ever gone to a website, and in which real university website don't do this, but fake ones do? They tell you, oh, you visited the website, like, oh, put your name, your address, and whatever you want to study, and we'll get back to you if you have any question. And you do that, and in a week or 2 or 3 weeks or a month, you just get a message from them. Hi, you have been granted admission into this particular department with a scholarship of 70%. You do this, you do this. Here's the account number. Put in, pay the remaining fees, and you are coming to Canada or coming to US to study. Those are fake. Those are fake. They give you admission. They give you, look, don't fall for these scams. They will, the school you're interested in, right? They can go and create a letterhead that looks exactly like that. Or they can create an email that has all the school, whatever, the symbol or the names or the whatever sponsors of the school that you're interested in. They make it look so legitimate and say, we are giving you scholarship and you should take this scholarship. All you need is to pay 30%, 60%, 70% and all. The question somebody may ask after hearing this is, then how do I know if the admission I got is from a legitimate school or not? Number one, the schools don't ask you to pay anything. No schools ask you to pay upfront before coming into that school. The only reason people usually pay their school fees before going into a country or before going to a school to study is usually because of immigration, not because of admission. No schools give you admission and immediately send your account number to pay. No. In fact, some schools discourage you from doing that. No school. Any school that tells you that in order for you to get admission or immediately we give you admission, you should pay your school fees, please run from that school. Even if they say they give you 80%, kindly run from such a school. No school mandates you to pay their school fees, even before you've started classes. The only reason, like I said, why people pay school fees to school is just to prove to the immigration office that we have the funds to take care of ourselves. We have the fund to pay our school fees. So we're not going to go there and become liability, okay? And when you pay this school, there is no school official telling you, my name is this, I'm the school this. No, when you're paying school fees, you're paying to the account department, okay? So you should be dealing with the account department, not the so-called agent from that same school. Agents, professors, whatever, are not interested in whether you pay your school fees or not. In fact, a lot of them don't know whether you paid or not. That has to do with the account department. It has nothing. So please be careful of schools that ask you to pay because you've gotten an admission, or to pay immediately you get an admission and send your account number. Most schools don't send your account number. You go and check it on their website. They will never send your account number to pay your school fees in. Okay, so please be aware. There's admission scam, people calling you that you've gotten admission, or people telling you, come, you're eligible to get admission in our department and stuff like that, or people giving you letters of admission, you know, when you know that there've been no concrete thing that you have done so far to get the admission from them. Don't think it's luck that shined on you. Don't think it's God's grace that gave it to you. I am sorry, okay? Please don't think like that. There are due processes to follow. If you have not followed that process with a school and they suddenly give you admission, please think twice about it, okay? The next thing is they have study permit scam. This of all, there are some scams people fall to that I'm like, I just want to roll my eyes. Like, really, you fall into these scams? And one of them is study permit scam. You are in Nigeria, someone sends you a letter that you've gotten study permits. I did mention it earlier that study permits is what you get when you land in Canada, right at the airport. The agent or the officer at the border is going to be asking you questions. See, that's why if you was not aware when you are doing all these applications and whatever, you let your agent do everything. Once you get to the airport, they're going to ask you questions about that application. They're going to ask you steps you took. There are many things that your agent probably did without telling you, okay? And you got the admission, you got the visa. Now you're at the airport and they're asking you questions and you don't know and you're not giving them answers. They will put you back on the next flight back to your country, okay? So please, study permit scam is real. People calling you that you have gotten study permit, or agency or companies or whatever telling you that will guarantee that you're going to get admission. Even the immigration officer working on your application for study permit cannot guarantee you that they're going to give you that study permit. Nobody gives. So anywhere you see 100% guarantee, works all time, students have high chances or they always get it, it's a lie. It's a huge lie. When I worked with the agent that worked on my visa application, the first time I met him, I asked him so many questions. And one of the questions I asked him is, how many people have you applied on their behalf or have you helped, in the application process for study permits? He told me 8. I told him, of the 8, how many of them got the visa? He said 5. I was not concerned about the 5 that got it. My concern was about the 3 that did not get it. Why did these 3 not get the visa? And he told me many of the reasons. Okay, maybe this person didn't have the proper document. This person had a different course that they shouldn't study. This person, there's so many things. I had to sit down to know. I need to know what they did wrong so that I don't do them. I need to know what they do wrong so that I know that what I'm doing now is not the right thing. These are informations that I need, okay? So nobody anywhere should be able to guarantee you that you have 100% chance of getting a study permit or a visa. Any agency, anybody, any agent whatsoever, even immigration lawyers who tells you that, please run. That is study permit or visa scam. The next one is admission and study permit scam. There are some people who have it combined. They tell you guaranteed admission and visa if you apply with us. Guarantee 100%, please, those are scams. There's also the scholarship scam. That one is more rampant and obvious that it's a scam. Even people that I personally know fall victim to this. A school tells you you have gotten admission, or they tell you we're giving you scholarship to apply to our school and it is 70% or 100% scholarship. All you need to do is pay this amount into this account. All you need to do, pay this amount to secure the scholarship or secure the admission. Those are scams. I'm going to say this clearly. No legal university charges you a penny for a scholarship that they are giving you. No university in Canada, in US, in Europe charges you for a scholarship that they want to give you. That is why it is called a scholarship. If I have to pay to get that scholarship, then it is not a scholarship. It is something else. It is something else. It is not a scholarship. And I'm not saying that every school gives 100% scholarship, okay? I've seen people at the at the University of Manitoba who got 45%. I've had friends in US who got 50% scholarship. They didn't get it complete. But the thing is, the difference between the real and the fake is they will never ask you to pay the remaining. If you have given me 40%, then let me come to the school, study with the 40%, and then I pay the remaining, okay? I can pay mid-semester, I can pay at the end of the semester. Why do I have to pay when I've not even packed my bags out of my country yet? When I've not even been under the first 2 or 3 lectures yet? Why? Why do I have to pay? No school gives you admission and then immediately tells you to secure it, pay the remaining 50% of the scholarship. Please be aware, when you see such a thing, it's a scam. It's a huge scam. Many schools have reasons and they have ways by which they give scholarship to students. They have processes, okay? Some scholarships are bursary, okay? You come in as a student, they know your financial, capacity, and then they give money to you as a bursary from the school to help you out, maybe with your expenses or stuff like that. Some give you 45% scholarship. That usually comes with your admission letter, and they never ask you to pay the remaining money. You go ahead and apply for your visa, prove to the immigration officer or whatever that your parents have the money or you have the money, whatever, in your bank account or through your years of work, or your parents have it because of their properties or something like that. Prove it, then go to school, start, whatever, then when it's time, pay the remaining. That's how it works. Please be aware. There's also accommodation and flight scam, where they said the school is giving you free accommodation and is also giving you free flights. They're going to pay. Flight costs a lot of money. The distance between Nigeria and UK, the distance between Nigeria and Canada is a whole lot. It's a whole lot. I don't think any school takes upon them the responsibility to pay a student's flight nor a student accommodation. Does that mean the school doesn't help you out with your accommodation? Yes, they do. They give you scholarship. Out of that scholarship, you can pay your school fees, and from it, pay for your accommodation. Okay, but most of the time, I don't think school cares about your flight. Schools don't usually concern themselves with how you come. The most they do is maybe have representative at the airport to pick you to school. Okay, most of the time you have to look for the accommodation yourself, and accommodation is another thing. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to go into it. It's so deep that how people can be scammed when it comes to accommodation. I'm just going to give you a simple trick. If you get an admission and you get your visa and you need a place to stay, please come and stay in a hotel. Rent a hotel. Check something on Airbnb. Rent, don't buy, don't pay a full month, okay? Rent, accommodation or stuff like that, okay? And Priscilla just left it in the chat that certain fellowship give you flight expenses and stuff like that, right? They cover for stuff like that. But of all this, they will never ask you to pay anything. Anytime you hear pay, it's not from a school. Please be careful. And the last two are work permit scam and immigration scam. There are some fake agencies that will tell you you are guaranteed to get an admission, you're guaranteed to get visa, you're also guaranteed to get work permits. No, work permits is entirely different from student permits. Now, your student permits have certain conditions. Your student permit can come with the condition that you can work within the school campus. They will state it in your, study permit when you get it. Some will say you can work outside the school campus, but only for 20 hours a week if the school is on session. For master degree students, they'll tell you you cannot work during summer. There are some, study permit that will clearly write it. You, as long as you're a master student, they expect you to be studying from whether school is on session or not. You should be writing your papers, so you are not allowed to work. Please, that's where they give you that, okay? And I don't think they ever will give you one that is completely open, like a work permit, like a person who wants to completely work and not school. No, those are the conditions, at least for Canada, that I know. They give you, either they restrict and say you cannot work, or they say you can work as many hours as you want if the job you end up getting is within the school. Like maybe you're assisting a lecturer as a grader, a marker, or you're somehow helping the department or something like that. You can work for as many hours as possible. And I know why they say that, because most of the time working within schools doesn't come with many hours. Those guys are funny. It doesn't come with many hours. So please be careful. Work permits and study permits are completely entirely different things. And so anybody who is telling you we guarantee you work permit as well, or open work permit or whatever, please run from them. They are obviously scams. The last thing is immigration scam. People call you and say they are from the embassy. They're from Canadian Immigration Office, US Immigration Office, UK Immigration Office, that you are being offered you're being offered entrance into the country, or they are giving you PR, or they are giving you study permits when you have not applied for it. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to apply, you have to be eligible for it, you have to have all the requirements, go ahead and apply. And even when you do, they still do not guarantee you that you get it. Okay, you just go ahead and do it because you have the requirement. Do it. If they deny you the first time, they will tell you the reasons why they deny it. You can go back and work on that reason and reapply. And my application to Canada, I was denied the first time I applied. Does it shock any of you? I was denied the first time I applied for my study permit to Canada. And why did they deny? They said I had no personal assets. Okay, that I had no personal assets to prove that I had something tying me down to my home country or stuff like that. And when it was time to reapply, I had to explain I'm being sponsored by a company. The company paid my school fees and everything. I did not expect that I have to prove to you guys that I have money or not. It's someone else, a different company taking that responsibility. But if that's what you guys want, then I will give you all the things. My parents had to write all their documents. Okay, I'm not going to tell you how the process worked, but I had to prove to them that I had what they said I did not have, and I was able to get it the next time. So because your visa failed the first time doesn't mean that your case is a lost case or something, or a hopeless case. You can go ahead, check why they denied you, work on that as well. There are mediums that scammers use. They can call you on the phone. Have you seen a situation where someone calls you from a British school and they sound completely Nigerian? And I've seen people do that. And it's not that Nigerians don't work in those places, or Nigerians don't. I don't know how to explain it. It's so obvious. A Nigerian who has stayed in a country for such a long time, working in a particular area, even if their accent doesn't change, they somehow know that I have to enunciate my words so that people of different races can understand me. So doing that somehow alters your accent in one way or the other. It might look like a minute reason to think something is a scam, but it can actually help you. I've seen people call me and say they are Indians, but they sound Russians. Okay, I've seen people say they are blacks, but they sound Indian. You have to be sure that you're knowing all these things because it is important. There are ways. One of the ways by which scammers can get to you is website. Okay, there are WhatsApp groups. That one is more prevalent. Okay, they will say they are agents for a particular university in Nigeria. They have WhatsApp group. I'm not saying that schools may not allow this, although it's very rare, but it's possible that they could be, agents from schools or whatever who are in your home country and have WhatsApp group or Facebook groups where they talk to potential students who want to come to their schools to study. But what, differentiate the real from the fake is the fake will ask you money. Anything scam need money from you. Anything scam need you to use your account, need something related to your account somehow. Those are fakes. Please be careful. There's advertisements. I've seen fake adverts, okay, on YouTube. So don't think because you saw it online doesn't mean it, because they announced it on radio, on TV, on YouTube, on newspaper, doesn't mean it's not fake. These guys have money. As long as you have money, you can place your advert anywhere. These companies just want money. They want to generate income. So they don't go and check if what you want to advertise is real or fake. I mean, people advertise fake drugs even right on daytime TV. So please be careful. And then word of mouth, which is where Nigerians fall victim a lot. Nigerians don't care what is online. They care about what somebody said. I'm not saying all Nigerians. I should be careful not to generalize, okay? But a lot of Nigerians care about what somebody said. My uncle said, this brother said, my niece said, my auntie who works with the Canadian airport said, my auntie who works with this. Please be careful of what, because somebody said it, because they are your blood relatives, because they are somehow attached or have ties to a country, doesn't mean that whatever they said is real. It could be outdated. They could have been they could be making a mistake, or they may have forgotten how it works or stuff like that, or they may just not know, and they don't want to tell you that they don't know. Okay, so please be careful. All that you need is online. Okay, I don't want to go on talking about the different scams because I already said that these scams keep evolving. Okay, it keep evolving, it keep changing. Tomorrow it might not be all the ones I've just listed or said. It might be completely different. But then let's go to the real gist of the matter. How do you avoid scams? What can I do to avoid scams? 3 things. Research, number 1. Number 2, research. Number 3, research. It's research, what a lot of us don't want to do. We want someone else to do. I've seen people send me or my husband or friends that this agency is offering this. Can you help me check if it's real or not? What happened to you? Can't you check? You know, some people can be so busy with their lives that they don't check and mistakenly say, oh yes, it seems good. They did not do any in-depth analysis of whatever you send them, and they tell you it's real. I'm not saying there are people there are not people out there who can tell you if something is real or not. I'm just saying that you need to learn to do it yourself. Because if you think being in Nigeria is the only way by which you can be scammed, even if you come to Canada, there are scammers here. When it was time for me as a student to look for part-time jobs, there were so many companies that wanted to scam me. So many. There were some that I even had worked for 2-3 days until they start making demands. And I said, I'm going to research this. I'm going to check this. And I found out that they were fake. Till date, when you go on different job boards, there are different advertisements on Facebook job, there's a Facebook job place. There's also job places, different companies, different websites, that you can apply for a job. And many fake people, many fake whatever, they are there and they can deceive you. So how do you escape scam? Research, research, research. Anything you hear, check it out. I need proof. Anything you see, anything anyone tells you, check it out. I need proof. You're asked that you have given admission, check it out. Call the direct university. I got a letter that you guys gave me admission. I want to confirm it. Call the right university, right? Just like Sister Coach Yvonne said, she called the immigration office asking them if that university was real or not, and she was told if it's not on the website, it's not. Call and verify every information. Check online. Do everything you do. Research, research, research. Thank you, Coach Yvonne. Continue to research to figure out if what you're doing is real or not. And the 4th thing, which is my own Jara, like Nigerians say, Jara is some things, even if you research it or not, you need to have a very intuitive, a very logical mind to know if something is real or not. You need to have, there are some things that can be so real. Anything that is too good to be true is truly too good to be true. Stay away from it. Any offer, be it job, be immigration, anything that you get that is too good to be true is actually too good to be true. So please be careful. It's not just Nigerians falling victim to scams. I've seen many Canadians fall victim to scams, okay? I've seen many people around the world, different races, ages, education, falling victim to scam. And when you sit down to hear the scam, yes, it's well planned, it's well said. The scammers have made research that you are not researching, but if you really make your own research and you think well, you think about it like a sane person would do. Think about it logically. You will see that some things don't add up. And once they don't add up, it's not real. It's not right at all. So how to escape scam? Whatever type of scam, immigration, work permit, job, studying abroad, scholarship, accommodation, flight. How do you escape it? You escape it by making research. Yes, you can ask people, but please, you make your own research first. And whenever you then decide to ask people, let it be that it's confirming what you already know. Thank you very much. I think we should move on to the questions. Is that right, Coach Yvonne?
Yeah, wow. In fact, I could not even sit still. So much wisdom. So much wisdom pouring out here tonight, and we are so blessed in the house. Honestly, we are blessed. And I say thank you very much, Blessing. Blessing is a blessing.
Thank you.
You're such a blessing to us and so grateful. And we can't just overemphasize the fact that you hardly fall victim of scams and any other pitfalls if you take out time to research these things by yourself. At the end of the day, it's you getting into that school, not that agent. So it's best you even do it yourself. Start by getting all the necessary information yourself, and you would hardly fall victim, because knowledge is power, honestly. And when you have knowledge of something, it's like you have the upper hand. So nobody can then come in and bamboozle you and say, and tell you rubbish, because you already have knowledge of that thing. So it's very, very important. I remember I have so many personal experiences. I don't even know where to start from because I am someone that loves taking professional courses, enhance my professional skills and my career path. And I remember, I don't know if the person is following me on LinkedIn. I think so. If you're on LinkedIn, when you've made any professional achievement in terms of a certification or a diploma, LinkedIn will ask you if you want to showcase it to your connection. So this particular year, I think this was 2017 or so, I had just finished a professional course and I showcased it on LinkedIn. And few hours later, I got an inbox, a message in my inbox, and someone chatted me up that he's the career counselor for so university. That do I know that with this professional certification that I've gotten, I can get full scholarship into his university to study any course of my choice and all that. And I was like, wow, brilliant. So I was so much interested because meant full scholarship. Who doesn't want that? Then I went ahead, he sent me the form, he sent me everything I needed to fill and all that. I did that, and at the point, well, I didn't hear from him for like 2 weeks. Then I wrote to him that what's going on with my admission? And he said, oh, we've been working on it. Now we are done, and you've gotten an admission. This is your admission letter. He sent the admission letter on the school's letterhead paper. The school was in Europe, a school in Europe, I think Spain or something. And he said, oh, before we proceed, you have to pay 50% of something, 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 something. He just listed some fees that I needed to pay. And I asked him, I thought you said it was a full scholarship. And he said, yes, we are offering you a full scholarship, but just for tuition. You have to pay for your textbooks, your this, your that, your that. And he was mentioning so many things that I needed to pay for. And I was like, okay, this doesn't sound okay. It sounds so fishy. Then I checked out, I went to research the school. So that was the school, the second school I went to research on the government website. And the school was not there at all. So it's a So it's just to show that we have to do these things by ourselves first. And we cannot just overemphasize the fact that if you have a phone, a good working phone and an internet, in fact, if you're on this call today, it means that you have a good phone for you to be able to live stream this webinar. So you do not have any excuse not to take these things that have been said tonight to heart and just start doing them on your own. And you would even learn a lot while doing this research. There are so many times that I've done my personal research and I've learned beyond what I was even looking for. So it's very, very important. So without wasting too much time, we have some questions here that we would like to take briefly. We have so many questions here, but we'll take them, but we'll do them briefly. Okay, so Blessing, the first question is from Kingsley. And it says, thank you, Coach Blessing, so much insight. My question is, what is the best method to converting your GP from 5.0 to 4.0 so that it guides you in your application? So that's the first question.
Okay. Let's see. I think I did see that question. And what I wanted to say was that every department have their grade system. So if I give you a generic way to convert your GP from maybe 4.5 or 5.0 to 4.0, but then you choose a university that their grade system is different, you will fall into trouble, okay? So what matters is the department you want to apply to. The U of M has a different grade system, okay? The University of Toronto has a different grade system. University of University of Saskatchewan have a different grade system. And how does this grade system works? Let me just tell you. If you have an A in Nigeria, they would give you A if you score 70 to 100. That's an A. At the University of Manitoba, if you score 70, that's not an A, that's a B. You know, that's not even a B plus, that's a B. If you score 70, that's a B minus. Okay, now a B minus is 3.0, right? In like, if you put it in the GP, terminology, that's a 3.0. So whether in Nigeria, they had said it's an A. So anybody who sees an A thinks that's a 5.0, maybe that's a 3.5, or that's a 4.0, or stuff like that. In Canada, if you move your A from your Nigerian grade to your Canadian grade, that no longer is an A, that's a B. Now in Nigeria, not every university has 70 as an A. So that's why I'm saying it's very peculiar to the school that you choose, or even the school you studied. You might have been, let's say you went to the University of Lagos where an A is 85. So your A, unlike my school that I went to Labison Obanjo, where A is 70. So if you as a University of Lagos student had an A, that's a Canadian, let's say that's a Canadian A minus. It's not a Canadian B minus, okay? So when you start by converting, it means is that you should see if what you score A is actually A in Canada or not, or is it A in the department you want to study or not. If it's not A, then instead of putting A, while you're calculating, change it to B. Okay, and in let's say the University of Manitoba, their grade system, a B is a 3.0. Put 3.0 on your B. Let's say you have B in Introduction to Technology. Okay, maybe they gave you A, but at the University of Manitoba, that your A is a B. Put B and then put 3.0. Then you go on like that till you finish all your grading. Then you calculate whatever it is, and whatever result you get, that is your Canadian equivalent for that score. So I can't say there's a specific sum. It depends on the university. Your transcript shows you what an A is. Okay, when you get your transcript from your school, it tells you what an A is. When you go to the department, they tell you what an A is, and they tell you the method to convert. Okay, so it depends on the school. The U of M A is actually, I think, from 90 or 92 to 100. That's an A. You might go to University of W, that's University of Winnipeg. Their A might be 80. Might be 82, so there's no specific one. Okay, next question.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach. I hope that question was answered. Kingsley, let us know in the chat section if the question you asked was answered. I'll move on to Mimi. Mimi is asking, does this process apply to PhD and master's degree seekers?
Yes, it absolutely does. I came into Canada as a master's student. So yes, in fact, I feel like I'm more, I'm more knowledgeable with the master's and the PhD process compared to undergrad. And when it comes to scholarship, masters and PhD students are the ones who have more scholarship at their disposal compared to undergrad, people who just want to go and start from their first degree and stuff. The scholarship available for them is usually very less, very few, and also the amount is usually quite, very, very small, like very small amount. But for masters and PhD students, the scholarship available there are numerous scholarship out there, and they can range from huge different amount of money. They can be a lot of money and stuff. So yes, everything I said today applies even more to masters and PhD students than it does to undergrad students, because I feel like undergrad, it's so easy as long as you have the right WAEC result. There is not that much requirement, unlike when you want to apply for visa as someone who is going for your master's. They're asking you, where is your NYSC certificate? Where did you work after you finish your university? Why are you just applying for your master's when you graduated 5 years ago? You have to explain all these things. What happened within those years? What were you doing? Okay, how much were you earning? What did you do with your income? What is your account details and stuff like that? So it applies more to masters and PhD students than it does to even undergraduate, although it applies to everyone, I think. So yes, it does.
All right, thank you very much, Mimi. I hope that question was answered. Let us know in the chat box. Okay, next question is from John Banjo. He says, please, how do people with low Cgpa from their first degree get a scholarship to study abroad? Is there any chance for them at all?
Is there a chance? Yes. Sometimes people who have low GPA, I said GPA because that's the word I'm more used to and stuff. Doesn't mean that that's the right word. People with low GPA, sometimes there are some additional courses they can do even in their home country to add to it. Okay, so sometimes in a department, they can say their requirements is that you have a GPA of 3.5, or if you don't have a GPA of 3.5, you must have this certain degrees, okay, or you must have this certain foundational courses, or you may have work experience. Sometimes they combine work experience with your result together. It depends on the university, okay, and it depends on the department. They say this, but let's say the department say you just need to have a 3.5. You just need to have a 3.5, or you're able to find a school that with your low GPA, they allow you to get into the school. They may not give you the scholarship the first time you're going in. In fact, there's a low chances of you getting that scholarship, but doesn't mean your situation is hopeless. If you can start school, if you can somehow raise money to pay for your first semester, okay, pay for your visa application, your admission, you get it, and you are able to travel, start school, pay for your school fees, pay for your accommodation. If you are able to do well in your first semester, not the whole year, your first semester, if you're able to do well and have a GPA of 3.5, most departments, as long as it's a public university, I don't know about private, as long as it's a public university, will make sure, will give you what's it called? Scholarship. Now, mind you, it's not the word guarantee. It happens. It's possible. It's the chances are higher. Okay, it's not a guarantee that you will, but the chances are higher if you have at least a 3.5 in your first semester. When I was entering the University of Manitoba for my first degree, I was eligible for a bursary, but it wasn't a high amount of money. It was, I think it was 1,500 Canadian dollars. It was nothing. Compared to the school fees and the expenses, it was nothing. But after my first semester, I was eligible for a 9,000 Canadian dollars scholarship. I've seen people who get $15,000. Okay, I've seen people who got 45% scholarship, and once they did their first semester and did well, just as long as you get more than 3.5 your first semester, you're eligible for many scholarship, and it has to be either master's or PhD. I'm not sure about undergrad. Undergrad gets scholarship as well, but it's usually not in a lot of money. It's usually quite small, like $1,000, $2,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, and stuff like that. Maybe some get a lot more, but mostly private and mostly masters and postgraduate students get a lot of scholarship from their first semester's results. And if you in your next semester, if you also have a good GPA as well, you're also eligible for another scholarship as well. So yes, you're not hopeless if you don't get scholarship in your first, as you're just entering. Okay, I hope that helps.
Wow, thank you so much, Blessing. John, let us know in the chat box if your question was answered. And we are moving on to the next question. This is the second to the last question from Blessing Ukachuku. She says that, must I have all the money required at hand before applying?
Before applying for your admission or before applying for your visa? Which of them? But
okay, Blessing, can you help us clarify that? But in the meantime, feel free to, Coach, feel free to answer either of the options.
Okay, so before you apply for your admission, you don't, like I said, as long as it's a legitimate school, they don't care how much you have. They don't care if you have money or you don't have money. As long as you have money to pay for the application fee, okay, which is usually above $100, depending on the country or stuff. If you have that amount of money to pay, because you need to submit the application, right? That's fine. They don't care how much you have, whether your parents are wealthy or they are not wealthy. They do not. They don't even ask you to submit the statement of your bank account or your parent bank account to apply for admission to a university, so they don't care. The only place where what you are matters is visa. When it comes to visa, okay, when it comes to visa, you need to be able to prove that you have money to pay for your accommodation at least 1 year. They need you to prove that you can take care of yourself in 1 year, okay? So you need to be able to pay for your school fees. You need to be able to pay for your accommodation, your feeding, your transportations, communications, and stuff like that. So you have to prove to the embassy, you have to prove to the immigration officer that you or your parent or the company sponsoring you or your sponsor have the money to do it. But if it's for admission, you don't have to. You don't have to have the money. Just have your application fee. That's all.
Okay, so yes, you've answered the question. She was asking before applying for admission, and so that has been answered. Let's move on to the last question before we call it a night. And this question is from Kingsley again. He says, how do I handle the challenges of sending transcripts to schools when applying to multiple schools, considering the cost of sending international transcripts? For instance, the school he graduated from demands 50,000 naira to send a single international transcript. What is the best practices to avoid spending so much?
Wow, that is a very brilliant question. I am so impressed with that question. I love that question because I did experience that when I was applying. And funny enough, my school, the school I graduated from for my first degree, also demand that you pay 50,000. And the worst of it all is, even if you pay 50,000, they will not still send that transcript. They will print it out, put the name of the school you want to send this transcript to, put it in an envelope and hand it over to you and collect 50,000. They're not going to send it. So imagine if you have to apply to more than 1 or 2 schools, which is usually advisable that you apply to more than one. How do you cope? What I did when I was applying was I went to my school, told them that they should put because when you're getting your transcript, they address the transcript to someone, right? I told them to address it to the school I graduated from. So I graduated from Olabisi Obanjo. I said, okay, address it to Olabisi Obanjo Postgraduate School. Address it to that school. And so they did address it to the school and gave it to me, printed it out and gave it to me in an envelope. I paid 8,000 naira because it was a local one, right? Local transcripts are cheaper. It was for a local university and stuff. So I took it, went to the schools that I wanted to apply to. When it was time to submit transcripts, I submitted that. Okay, I scanned that and I sent it to them. And I said, pending, if I get the admission, I am going to send in the original transcript. Okay, there are some schools that tell you can send any transcript. When you get the admission, we will require you to send a transcript that is addressed to us. Whereby, but there are some schools that would not say that. They'll say send a transcript addressing directly to us. In that situation, you send a message to them explaining to them that it costs a lot to send a direct transcript to you guys. So I'm going to send you a transcript with the university I graduated from. If I get the scholarship, if I get the admission, I will send in a direct transcript to you directly. So what happened was, when I got the admission, I had to go back to the school and tell them, okay, can you put the name of this particular school, address this transcript to this particular school, put it in an envelope that has that school on. And I expected them to send it, but of course they don't send it. They gave it to me. I had to go to DHL and send it to the school directly. So that was how I was able to, not having to have spent 50,000 many times as possible. So yes, schools do allow it. I know U of M will not ask you to, at the time of applying, to send a transcript that is directly addressed to them. And I'm sure other schools as well. And even those who make those demands, you can send a letter to them. I remember Priscilla, when she was applying to US schools, I think there were some schools where they asked that she has to give them proof of English or whatever, all this TOEFL, IELTS, yes. And she sent them a letter saying, I studied from a Nigerian university and I was taught in English from my first year to my final year. I don't think I have to send that, I'm not sure. That's not how she said it, but she was able to explain to them reasons why she doesn't have to send in any proof that she did this TOEFL or whatever exam. And I think they waived it at the Department of Philosophy too. It's not compulsory, and many schools too. It's not compulsory. Just tell them that I studied in this particular school and we were taught in English from very young till I graduated. So there's no need to do any English, whatever test. And some of them will send you a letter back and say, that's fine, go ahead and apply. So I hope that answers your question, that you can follow that method. It will help you out a lot. Over to you, Coach Yvonne.
All right, thank you so much, Blessing. That's all the question. Yes, I'm checking to be sure. Yes, so we have covered all the questions for this evening. I hope that our coach did so much justice to your questions by giving you the right answers, and I'm sure you've benefited a whole lot from this. We are sorry that we had to take extra 13 minutes, but obviously it was so worth it. I'm so glad. I'm very glad, because this has been the biggest knowledge sharing, eye-opening experience I've heard about studying abroad. I have read so many articles online. I have watched so many YouTube videos, and this is just so practical. I'm not saying this because Coach Blessing is one of us. I'm saying this because she has spoken to us based on experience, and experience, they say, is the best teacher. So it's always good to hear firsthand from those who have been through, been there and done that, like they say. So I'm so glad. I'm so happy about this session, and I'm so very, very sure that you have learned one or two things that you can use as you go forward in your journey or in your future plans to study abroad. She can as an example, because that is where she's currently based. But you know that this applies to wherever country you want to go to. It can be in the US, can be in Spain, whatever country you choose to, you can apply these same principles and it will work for you. So before we wrap up, I'd just like to share with us again, especially for those who are not NWN community members, just reach out to me. I'm going to drop my number, my personal number in the chat session. Please reach out to me if you are not an NWN member. You being an NWN member means that at least you are on our WhatsApp platform. And If you are not on that general WhatsApp platform, you are missing a whole lot. So that is my personal number and my name is Yvonne. Please reach out to me and let us get you in so that you are not left out. We have so many things coming our way before the end of the year. We are going to still have another session with one of our coach who is going to take us through scholarship opportunities in the US. So people keep thinking that, how can I get into the US? It's so hard. Even when Donald Trump was there, he said Nigerians cannot come into the US ever again. But guess what? It's not as hard as you think. And we are going to have that webinar very soon, where we are going to dissect scholarship opportunities that you can access overseas. Because we know that we are hardworking Nigerians, but sometimes financial challenges can be a barrier to having our dream school or getting into our dream school. So please just stay on the page, be on the page, and we will continue to bring you so many information that you need to move to your next level in life. And we are praying that with these things, we can look back and say, yes, this is an NWN member, and we will be very, very proud of all our members. So without wasting so much time, let's just call it a night. We have done a lot. We've covered a lot of grounds tonight. So kindly unmute and say a big thank you to Coach Blessing, a very big one, please. So everyone unmute and say thank you, Coach Blessing. Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, bro.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And
2 good hours. Thank you so much, everyone. And
Thank you.
have a beautiful
It only happened because I saw your image in my mind when I was with Carol. I imagined it was you with me.